Okay, so I wanted to make a video about what was in this little box here. I got this little box from China, and it's these it's radio parts parts kits. Basically, it's this one here is a little AM radio that you can order this from China, and you can see the Chinese writing there, which I thought was pretty cool. It had Chinese writing on it. Unfortunately, the instructions are all in Chinese, but looks like most of your markings here are pretty much numerical, so probably should be able to figure out most of all the components on there. All the components, this thing is in pieces, is basically a kit, and you solder it and put it together. This is the AM radio one, and I did get another one that was a, I believe an AM FM TV band, which wouldn't be in use now because of the TV band is digital now. But anyway, same thing in Chinese. Okay, this is the AM one out of the box here. And basically, well, these are the parts that were inside the case here, which I laid this on top. It was inside. It's actually loose. I mean, you even have to put that on there. And it doesn't have like a sticky back, so I'm not really sure exactly how I'm going to put that on there. I guess just some glue or something. But basically, pretty much all your parts are in here. This little thing looks like the dial pointer. And you got your volume knob. And there's your volume potentiometer there. Your little speaker that goes in here. And so, and then interestingly enough, your circuit board is here. It's inside your instruction booklet, which is here. This looks like the HX-6B circuit board or chassis or whatever term you prefer to use, I guess. Totally in Chinese. I mean, you do have a schematic here, which will help you. But one thing right away that I notice is different is it's 100U. It's not UF, but you know it's a 100 microfarad. Pretty much everything else looks about the same. This tells you the code on the capacitor, so this must be a disc capacitor. That makes it a little bit easier. So I believe it's just a game of matching your parts here to the specified value here, and then of course at least you have a map of the circuit board too, so that makes it a lot easier. So even though it's in Chinese, I think it probably won't be a problem to put together. One thing I notice is in this kit that nothing is assembled. The little ferrite bar AM antenna right there was even the coil was slid off the ferrite bar. I had to slide that on. When I opened it up, I saw it and I said, wow, that's that's not even slid on the ferrite bar. So anyway, it looks like it's gonna be a little bit of a project here. So I guess I'll get everything out of the bag here and see what I can do to start putting this little circuit board together. Okay, back to the radio project. On the Chinese kit radio, I've got the tuning capacitor and the volume potentiometer, the headphone jack, and the audio output transformer installed, along with all the transistors and a lot of the caps, not all of them. I'm still going to put some more caps in, but anyway, this is how it looks so far. Now I figured out the real challenge is going to be trying to figure out where to put these adjustable trimmer transformers, where to put these at, because there's different, obviously 3 different ones that go in here. But I have no idea where, in which configuration they go in. I do know that notice that the slugs have colors. That's a gray one, and this one here is a light one, and there's a reddish color one here, sort of reddish color there. I know they're probably different values, so I don't, unless I can somehow figure out how to get the instructions translated, it's going to be tough to figure out how that goes in there. So I pretty much figured out where the voltage goes in. This switches the negative. It's not a switch positive, it's switch negative, so then it would have the direct 3-volt line going in to the board and being switched by the ground. So anyway, I'm gonna continue to work on it here, so we'll check back here in a minute when I make some progress. Okay, well, it's been a few weeks, and since I was working on this little radio, this little Chinese portable AM portable kit radio, I did finally get the radio playing. A couple of weeks ago I was putting it together, and I had got it completely assembled and turned it on. The little power LED lit up, and I heard a pop in the speaker, and that was about it. When you turned the power switch on, you'd hear a pop in the speaker and no reception. I grew concerned about where the placement of the IF transformers were correct or not. So I couldn't really figure it out, and so then it finally dawned on me on these instructions that there's a parts list, and right here T2, T3, and T4 are all your IF transformer cans, and here turns out to be the color listing. This would be a color for this one, T2. This will be the color for T3, and this will be for T4. What I needed to do was to figure out what these Chinese characters meant as far as color. There's 3 colors. And I had figured that much out. So to decipher that, what I did to figure out what these Chinese characters, what color that represents, I went to here. Now, if you know a resistor color code, which is what this is, then if you know the resistor color codes, you know 1 is brown, 2 is red, 3 is orange, and so on and so on. If you don't know your resistor color code, then you can always pull it up online. So that will tell you that this character means brown, this character means red, which so happens to be one of these characters here, red. So yeah, red, and then white, which is what this was, and then T4, that stands for black. So how I knew that was 0 is black, 9 is white on the color code. So that tells you where these go on your circuit board. So you know where, which IF can to put where. Red, black, and white. So once I got that done, I turned on the radio and it still didn't work. So, but I know I had my cans correct. So there was one other thing that I overlooked, and that is, okay, so what I overlooked on this circuit board is there are several factory breaks in these solder traces. On this circuit board map, they're lettered A, there's the break there, B, there's the break there, and here's C, and D. That connection is broken too. Now these solder traces, and I have no idea why they designed them this way, are broken from the factory, and they need to be completed for the radio to work. So see, this has got this circuit, this IF can out of circuit. So that needs to be soldered back together, which on the circuit board, these breaks are really close, and they have the copper foil exposed. So literally all you have to do is just tin it and touch it with a little bit of solder, and it completes the circuit. But they're all over the radio. A, B, C, and D. And there's probably more of them. They're all lettered on this here. But that is what I overlooked. And as soon as I soldered that back together, the radio went right to working. I did have to adjust my IF cans, in which the proper way to do it would be to use it on a signal generator, and probably 455 kilohertz or kilocycles would do it. Here's an example of those breaks actually marked on the schematic. Now this schematic is not to this radio on this video. I am working on this radio. This is another kit I'm working on. I am doing a video on it, but I do have it completed and I'm having some problems with it, so I'm still working out some kinks on this one. But just for reference, these X's here on this schematic mark those breaks in the circuit board. I have no idea why they're like that, but they are. And there's several all over the circuit board on this one that's that way too. But that's just a reference.
Linked to a collective salvation. And what they mean by collective salvation isn't, like Boy Scouts or joining some volunteer group and contributing to your community. No. It means the entirety of... You could see through...
It definitely has a touchy tuner on it. You can pass a station very fast. It's got that internal ferrite bar antenna that's not the greatest. A lot of that interference is basically the camera coming through on the radio.
Ultimate Plus provides protection for your social security number, bank accounts, investments, even the equity in your home. And while no one can stop all identity theft and nobody can monitor every single business,
well, that's it. The little AM portable Chinese radio kit, all put together and working. Not the best reception, but it is working. So I may do some tweaking or something on it to see if I can get it to pick up a little bit better. But that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next project later.
457 lot.